Good morning, everyone. My name is Ronnie. I'm a grateful believer in Jesus Christ and walking in recovery from drugs, alcohol, and life itself. This morning I wanted to talk about giving my heart. Um, Ever since I was a kid, I had a father that wasn't there to give me guidance and everything. And, I believe I was born with a fragile heart, you know. Um, all I wanted to do was be loved. And, gave my heart to my dad. I tried to, really didn't know how to love myself. And everybody around me, I tried to give my heart, to my friends, relationships with girls, I tried to give them all my heart, and everything. And, it says in the Bible that man will let you down, even like today, even being close to 32 months clean and sober, I will let people down, because, I've accepted the fact nobody on this earth is perfect, I still have 100 flaws, and this is why I continue working my program and stuff, you know, but, you know, um, it's kind of weird how God works. He will allow people to break your heart to get your attention and let you know that. You know what I mean? Like even in relationships, He will allow like people that you're in a relationship with, allow them to break your heart to let you know that they're not right for you, to be in your life and in a relationship and all that. Well, I gave my heart to everybody, that ever since I was a kid, and I was always let down, but all that, now looking on the other side of addiction for 20 years, I understand the one I should have gave my heart to was always there, and that's God. Once you give your heart to God, He will put the people that you need in your life, that, and everything. And now today, every day, I watch the words that I say, like, when I'm having a very ungrateful day, I'll be like, and having a busy day, I'll say, I have to do this, I have to do that. Now, today, I say, I get to do this, I get to do that, because all these things that are happening in my life, it's a gift. I didn't have an opportunity to be overwhelmed when I was in addiction. All I had to do is worry about what next drug I was going to put in me or what next drink I was going to put in me. Well, instead of, goes back to, I don't like to use the word surrender, 'Cause growing up, surrender meant to me like giving up, I don't know. I was big into sports. It might just be me, but instead of saying surrender, I say I give my heart to God every day, and He brings all these wonderful things into my life once I do that every day, Yes, every day is not perfect, but it is a blessing to have God in my life, I do not know where His love comes from, because in addiction, He's seen the most horrible things that I was doing in addiction, stealing, just living that lifestyle, hurting people, hurt people, hurt people, and now, once he has saved me from addiction. He has put wonderful opportunities in front of me that, to be honest, I do not deserve. But that's what kind of love he has. And he's brought peace in my heart today. Um, and I don't know how to explain it. I'm a train wreck. I'm a mess without God. Some days I don't want to pray, but you can in sobriety you can start your day over at any time. Like I'll have a hard time praying and stuff, in the morning because I'm having such a horrible morning, and I will call like my sponsor or my sober support, because I don't know, I just don't feel right. Like when I pray, I want it to feel like it's from the heart, and some days I'm just having such bad days where I'm just doing it as like a chore. So I will call my sponsor or my sober support team, and they might be having one of the best days that day. So I will call them. They might be peaceful that day and pray from the heart, but I will call them and they will pray for me over the phone. And I don't know, maybe that's just something I do. But I just love to pray and give my heart to God, like really from the heart. And um, God has placed all these wonderful people in my life for a reason. And they keep me going every day. Not just holding me accountable, just being there. Some days, it's hard for me to love myself. And um, they loved me back to life that day. And everything came together. Like God has this wonderful plan for everyone. And it might not seem like it's all coming together some days, but his plan was way better than mine. I couldn't imagine the opportunities that he has given me. It is undeserving because all the horrible things I did in addiction, but he loves each and one of us. And like, he's a father that never gives up. Yes, I have my earthly father in there, but God has given me ability, even though that my dad didn't know how to love me. He he God loved me and taught me about real love. It's helped me out in relationships. It's helped me out with my insecurities, and now I can go back and love my dad. Like he did, like he didn't know how to love me. I don't know what his upbringing was. And I made amends with that, like he wasn't there, but I really don't know what he's walked through in life. He might have had one of the hardest upbringings. But now I know how to love him, and that comes from God. Like, they his love is, one of my favorite songs of all time is Reckless Love. Jesus sat with the sinners like me, a drug addict, that sins every day. And I tell you what, there's more rejoicing in heaven over one sinner that repents than, like that song says, 99 righteous people that don't repent. And I asked, since I sin on a daily basis, I've been sober up until this point, but I still sin every day. That's why I continue working on myself. But I ask God for his forgiveness every day, and he forgives me every day. And he loves me unconditionally, no matter what you have done in the past. It's all about today. Like I like to say, the footsteps behind me it's not about those, you know. They're behind me. What it is about today and what I do, you know, with God's like love and everything. You know, it took me probably about 18 months or 20 months to actually. I don't know. It was like he didn't use me in a big way, but up until that point, but I see it now. Like it's kind of like I had to earn his trust, you know. Like not just stay sober, but am I going to, do the right thing with everything else in my life, you know, like relationships. It was very lonely in recovery at the beginning, you know, but like I said, his plan was better than mine, and he brought everything together, you know, and it took a very long time because I wanted that instant gratification, that instant love that he has for us. And even though he does love, but he will use you in the major way if you just wait, you know. Like you know, I can't believe, like, coming from a non-believer all my life, you know. My CR program even asked me, you know, this journey has been wonderful, you know, picking up, going back to the rehab that I was at, you know, and going back to the rehab and giving back, you know, and taking guys that were in rehab and taking them to meetings and like meeting all these wonderful guys, you know, where I've been where they've been, you know, broken and in addiction and didn't know what to do. But along this journey, like the past year, uh, leading guys to, you know, get baptized. There was 17 of them. And believe it or not, from the Celebrate Recovery program, I do. There was that was more than what the church did all year. You know, I'm not saying CR is better than church. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying, like, you know, I'm an addict. I'm an alcoholic, and I need God in my life. And it's been a wonderful journey. But my church asked me to make a video of all these wonderful gentlemen that are been part of Celebrate Recovery. Make a video to show like the church community, you know, what CR can do, because we're the broken, you know, we need God, and that's a blessing. And then on top of that, I just got a phone call, you know, from the rehab I went to, where I was broken over 2 years ago. They asked me to run the Celebrate Recovery program in there, you know. Who am I? Like, I'm undeserving what God does, and that I do not know where His love comes from, but it's a love I've never had before. It's a love I've always needed, you know. And now, like I said, I feel like I was born with a fragile heart, and I needed more love than the average person, you know. And God give me that, you know. And all through my addiction, I'm thankful for my addiction, because my addiction led me to God. You know, it gave me, I was given the gift of desperation. That's what I think, because I was totally broken and I came to God, you know. But it's just, He does amazing things in your life if you let Him. I, you know, I was so against it at the beginning, and I was like, no, I'm not. What's the use of learning all this stuff in the Bible? And man, I'm glad I stuck with it. You know, I, I asked God to soften my heart like over 2 years ago, and He did. You know, He saved my life. And I'm very like specific with my prayers. You know. When I can't figure out exactly what I'm struggling with, I ask Him, please open my heart and open my eyes and let me see what I'm struggling with. Please, Lord, work on me in places I don't know, you know what I mean, to work on. And Through Celebrate Recovery, he's given me the opportunity to work on exactly what led me to drugs and alcohol and what that void was, you know? Like, I believe my drugs and alcohol was just a symptom, but I dig deep down inside in that program, and it truly did, like, give me better relationships, better handling stuff better. I'm nothing without God, and like I said, who am I for Him to work in that? But we're all born with greatness, and He just wants the best for us. Like a father never gives up on a son. When we're hurting, he wants us to give it to him. Like watch over us, give us guidance on whatever is hurting us. Like he's heard our cries, and he knows exactly what's hurting us. And it took me the longest time. Like the only regret I have is I waited that long to give him my life, and he's doing major things in my life. He's blessing me more than I deserve, but that's him. He's a gentleman. He don't come in your life unless you invite him, Like he watched over me through my addiction and stuff, but he really wasn't working in my life until I asked him to. Like he's a real gentleman. Like he is kind. Like there is no motives behind his love, I've always had people in my life that have motives, but he has no motives. He just want. I had nothing at the end of my addiction. All I had to offer was my heart, and that's all he wanted. All he wanted, like, was my fragile heart that I was born with. But thank you guys for listening. I love you guys so much. I wouldn't be where I'm at today without you. And I like to say something: clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose. Love you guys. Have a good day. Bye.